Guys, welcome back to Iris After Hours. Here we are at a pre-screening of the new Bethel film, Bright Ones. We are super excited to meet the two directors, Fred Vassallo and David Noroña, and we're going to talk to them, we're going to hear a Q&A, and we're going to get some of the reactions of the audience about this amazing new teen film, faith-based, for the kids of America. We're the kids in America, whoa, we're the kids in America, whoa, come on. I'm here with the amazing David Noroña, who is the co-director of this film, and we are here at the ArcLight Cinemas for a private screening of Bright Ones, the new amazing film. David, tell us, how did you get involved in this project?
Fred Vassallo and I had actually worked on another kids project for Bethel Music called Come Alive. It was a series of music videos that we shot, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Are they the ones you can watch on YouTube?
That's right. You can absolutely watch
My
them on
kids
YouTube.
watch them all the time on YouTube.
So I directed those, and that's how Fred and I got to collaborate. We knew each other from some other stuff. So anyways, he walked down the hall, because I worked at Bethel Media, and he just said to me, hey man, we're thinking about taking it up a notch for this next one. We want to take some songs from the Bethel Music catalog, but we want to build a story around it. And that's what Bright Ones was birthed out of, was sort of like the sequel, if you will, to Come Alive. What would it look like to take these worship songs and develop a narrative around them?
Wow, amazing. And so it happened. How did it actually happen? Was it like your brainchild or Fred? What?
It was the two of us together, man. I mean, it was a journey. It was definitely a journey. Thankfully, we got to these kids before they hit puberty.
A little bit of faith involved on this journey, I think.
There was a lot of faith, a lot of faith. I think the most beautiful thing about it for us was those early morning writing sessions when we were trying to figure out how to tie in all these kingdom themes, how to build a narrative story around songs like No Longer Slaves, You Make Me Brave, all of these deep, deep, powerful worship songs. And
wow.
I think the coolest thing for us was hearing God's voice. He whispered to us a narrative that we think touches on themes like adoption, joy, the goodness of God, the power of creativity, and that's what Bright Ones was birthed out of.
Wow, that's incredible. So where did you film it?
We shot it all in Redding, literally with talent that was right there. In fact, Fred actually helped develop a lot of the talent in the early days. These kids were just young kids who wanted to get creative, and he was teaching them hip hop, and then we discovered that they could sing, and they started singing songs. And I think what you'll see happen on camera is that these kids are triple threats. They can act as well. I mean, I've been in the business now for about 30 years, and I can honestly tell you that there were times where some of these kids stepped up, hit their mark, and on take one just nailed some really difficult, challenging, emotional moments.
Wow. And now with the story, so did you have a writer? It was just you and Fred? How did you write this?
Fred and I co-wrote it. So really what it was birthed out of is it was a simple musical device.
Yep.
Let's put on a show. So the basic story of Bright Ones is it's a group of kids, tweens, at a performing arts school. It's Christian.
Come on.
Yep. And they get tasked with putting on a showcase, a big show in 2 weeks, except they have to interweave their own testimonies.
Ah, cool.
What is God saying to you? What is God doing to and through you? And out of that create, whether it's dance, photography, fashion, you name it. So all of the arts are on display. So it's really a simple story of a group of kids who put on a story to share their testimony with the world. And what they discover is that they find their own voice, and they share their story with the world, and they realize that it impacts people.
Wow, super powerful. So biggest challenge. What was the biggest challenge on this project?
That we literally did everything you're not supposed to do. We shot a film in Redding at 120 degrees.
Oh my gosh, in summer?
In the summer.
Brutal.
Brutal. With 100 kids and animals, which are all of the things.
Never work with children and animals, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen.
We did it all. We did it all. But God was with us, man. And it's powerful. I mean, I think for me, the best testimony is we wanted, Jesus is on display, but we wanted this to be a kingdom film.
Wow, come on.
We wanted it to be a kingdom film. We wanted it to speak to people who are in search of his face. And what I've heard is not only did it play to the kids, not only is there fun dance numbers and phenomenal songs and choreography and all of the eye candy that kids and tweens want, but we've heard the testimonies from adults who have left wrecked by the film, thinking back on their life, their dreams, what they wanted to do, and it's calling them to be the types of parents that support their kids' dreams.
Wow. Now, was this a first for you?
Wasn't my first feature, but it's definitely my first tween faith-based musical.
And I heard this is a new genre. Is this a new genre?
I've been in the business for a long, long time. I don't think anybody's ever tried to to crack the sort of kingdom, because it's, it expresses everything that our movements are about.
Yeah.
That it's not just about the 6 verses and the salvations. That stuff is so important and so good.
Yep.
But we wanted kingdom core values to be lived out and expressed through the life of young artists, which just looks different than the traditional Christian film. And where there's cutting edge music and there's fantastic choreography and there's even topics that are touched on that are maybe a little bit risky for the genre itself. So no, I think it's a first.
Come on, awesome. Well, David, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing this film. So, guys, get out and see this film. It's out in the cinemas right now. I'm here with the other co-director, Fred Vassallo. Fred is an amazing man. Yeah. Fred, Bright Ones is at a cinema. What happened? How did this happen?
Yeah, we are so excited about this, actually. It's, to be honest, it's the fulfillment of a dream. It's the fulfillment of many prophetic words. It's the fulfillment of many families' dreams, all coming in together, all combined as one. So, as with everything in the kingdom, it's way bigger than us, and it has generational impact, and that's what our hearts are hungry for, is to see this generation, which I think is non-age specific. I mean, this culture generation, that this Bright Ones film is an opportunity for this generation to step into this expression of who God is, that we can sing to Him, we can dance to Him, we can be family, we can go through things and still stay connected to Him, and that's the heart of it. So it's tons of fun. You're going to love watching it. You're going to love dancing to it. But there's a lot of heart involved in it as well. And there's meaning behind everything. And when David and I were writing the film, I mean, we actually sat in the face of God and just asked for wisdom and guidance. And even in our writing process, and God would just show up in miraculous ways where we'd be weeping and then crying and laughing and just having these amazing encounters, but with the heart of God for this generation. And so that's what I think that you guys will see when you watch the film. And when you come to the theaters on April 22nd, nationwide, that you're gonna feel that and you're gonna see that. And so that's what we're excited about.
What was the toughest thing about doing this film?
Is it too much to say the entire thing?
There you go, honest answers. We love honesty.
Yeah. Honestly, the process. I mean. I don't know if David had shared with you, but this originally started as a 45-minute long short film.
No, he didn't mention that.
Okay, so it began as an extension of the second album. So we did the Bethel Music Kids Come Alive.
Yes.
And we had the music videos.
The ones we watch on YouTube. My kids watch them on YouTube. Get on YouTube and watch them.
Yes. So we decided, hey, we want to expand what we were doing with that.
Yeah.
And so it turned into, well, what if we added a narrative? And then David and I began dreaming and writing this 45-minute sort of long short film. And honestly, we were actually in production on the set, and sort of unanimously with everyone involved felt like the call of the Lord in the expansion of it, that this should actually be a feature film. Whoa. That we should dream bigger and risk more with it all. And of course, when you've already casted and created a 45-minute thing, it was like, okay, how do we do that? And then He shows up every time, and He'll never fail with something that He's called you and designed you to do. And so He did. He showed up, and He gave us all the wisdom on how to add the additional 30+ minutes of content to be a feature film. And really, it was miraculous. We had like 26 days of production on the original. We filmed the additional 30 minutes of content in, I think it was 6 days. So literally, like the miraculous with everything in terms of speed and just we had an amazing team on this. That I think that's the other thing coming away with it, is like the importance of team and family in it all, and that was a major component.
I know that you mentioned something about this being like almost a new genre, like teen, faith-based music dance movies. Is this a first?
Yes, actually, because I mean, we've seen the musical films, right, with High School Musical. We've seen what that looks like, and we've seen sort of church Christian films, but the combination of those things, I think, was a new breed of movie and content. And we know that this genre exists because of the success of the High School Musical, and there's a ton of, dance-based or arts-based films. but what we wanted to avoid is one of the things that they go after is either romantic relationships amongst teens and kids, or they'll go after the competitive backbiting, and in order to get to the top or get the audition or win the thing, I've got to somehow backstab you. And we wanted to show that actually there's a kingdom approach to even the culture of the arts. Like, we can actually be kingdom minded in the pursuit of our dreams and our goals, in the performing arts, in the visual arts, in film and media, that there's actually another way other than the models that we've seen before. And so that was an important component. And then, of course, the faith element of just actually telling your story. And so our tagline is "Tell your story, change the world," because our testimony is the thing that is so unique to who we are and how God made us. And no one can replicate our journey and our testimony.
That's how we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
And that is an important part in it. And in this film, we say you can tell your testimony, your story, through the mediums of dance, of film, of music, of acting, of
hip-hop.
Yes, of hip-hop, which of course is mine.
Come on. Hey, so Fred, who are these kids? We know one of them is a special one to you.
Yes.
Your daughter Chloe
Yes.
is in this movie.
Yes.
But who are these other kids? Where did you find them? How did this happen with these kids?
Yeah, well, that's another amazing thing is these kids came out of the culture. This is actually birthed almost even out of community. We didn't go scouting and casting talent from the LA or different areas. These kids came from our community.
Wow.
And I would say the large majority of them were birthed actually out of my hip-hop dance program at Bethel Christian School.
Come on.
And that's where the Bethel Music Kids Come Alive was birthed out of.
Wow.
And then through me cultivating them in that, and then the different environments like the drama program at the K-8 Christian School, helping to tweak them. But these aren't kids who signed up for acting lessons and did all, but you see their performances and you're like, wow, this is actually tremendous. And David and I were very intentional too in our writing process once we casted to sort of look at the kids and their strengths and almost even write and David being also a great director working with their strengths as actors. So so they came from our community is what I'm saying. And so that's a wonderful part of the testimony, is that it all came from a culture and a community of people going after one goal to create this thing called Bright Ones.
Come on, Fred. Thank you so much, mate.
Absolutely.
Final thoughts for our audience. What do you want to say?
Yes, I want you to go and see this film,
Come on.
and I want you to take people and tell people about it. Because the thing about media is that it casts vision.
Yeah,
when you
wow.
see with your eyes, it casts vision to the brain. And so in the minds and the hearts of all people, but especially kids and youth who are extremely impressionable with media, this is something you want to put before their eyes so that they can look at this and see this and go, oh, that's me. I see myself in that. And then they begin dreaming about creating the next generation of this type of media.
Whoa, come on.
Yeah.
Fred, you're a legend. Thank you so much, mate. Get out and see Bright Ones.
I love Bright Ones!
Anna, what did you think of the film Bright Ones tonight?
I loved it because I really like Bright Ones, and when I went to Tribe Kids, I was screaming like crazy.
Leah, what did you think of Bright Ones?
I think it was awesome. I think Bethel did an amazing job showcasing the talents of these kids and what they're doing up there. I think that this is the start of something new and that we need to see more of this in media. And we're excited. We're excited about what's to come through this film. So go and see it.
Come on.
It was incredible. I think every family out there needs to come and see this. It has so many great values, and I feel like it's just a testimony of God's goodness.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. I was so surprised, I found myself crying.
Me too. I was crying a lot.
Oh my gosh, it was,
The love of the Father.
and just some deep emotional truths. And just, yeah.
I wasn't expecting that from a teen flick. How about you? What did you think of the film?
I thought it was excellent, and of course I was crying as well. And I think it just stirs up so much of how the body is embracing the fullness of people's gifts, and it makes a reality for the kids that are coming up. They can really be whoever they are and exalt God and change lives, and not just locally but internationally. And whatever they carry, it has an amazing value.
It got me into doing hip hop and dancing too, and I think it was amazing.
Oh, I thought it was amazing. It was super inspiring, and yeah, it encouraged me to follow the plans God has for my life. It was so good.
Come on, so it's not just for teens.
Yeah, no, not at all. It was amazing. I really hope everyone comes out and sees this.
Come on.
So good.
What impacted you the most about the film tonight?
Probably the showcase.
Yeah.
Just the whole showcase, honestly.
Some pretty cool dancing.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was awesome. I love the message, and I loved all the songs, and it's so cool to see the songs reimagined and with a really youthful flair.
Hey, what was the most touching part of it for you?
I love the song "No Longer a Slave," and I love the part at the, well, I don't want to give it away, but they sing it, and it's great. And I also really love the, when he sung "Reckless Love" in his audition, the main boy.
I just loved every part of it. I was in tears, I was laughing, I was just like moved. I felt excited for them to follow their dreams. I wanted to follow my dreams. It's awesome.
Come on. Hey, give us a look at this hat. Jaden, look at this. Bright Ones, mate. Check it out. Whoa. What did you think of the film, Jaden?
I liked it. I love bright ones!
Woo, there you have it, guys. He loves Bright Ones. We love Bright Ones. Get out into the cinemas and see it. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Iris After Hours. We were here with this film that is across the nation nationally, opening up in the USA and soon the world. So, yeah, get out and see it and get inspired to live your dreams and fulfill your God-given destiny on this planet. Love you guys. This podcast is presented by Iris Global. For more information or to support the work of Iris Global, please visit us online at irisglobal.org.